Hari Om. Welcome to another session in English literature. Hope you all are doing good. Today we'll talk about Robert Frost, an American poet born in the year 1874. But before I talk about Robert Frost, let me just talk about man's connection with poetry. Whenever we talk about poetry, the one name that comes in our mind is William Wordsworth. And William Wordsworth had very rightfully said, poetry is a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, backed by emotions gathered in tranquility. In Hindi, we often say, जहाँ पहुँच ना पाए रवि, वहाँ अक्सर पहुँच जाते हैं कवि. What does that mean? Who is a poet? A poet basically is someone who thinks beyond the line. Now the point is not just Robert Frost's poetry here. Robert Frost's intense connection with nature and how he took nature as an inspiration to bring out a couple of messages for the human society. In all my lectures, I have been telling you, my dear friends, that literature is about life, literature is about values, literature is about a connection between man and nature. Similarly, I have also been telling you that literature is about understanding and observing. But what makes Robert Frost a striking poet is his proficiency in the use of symbolism. Now, when I talk of symbolism, if I have to break the word symbolism, it comes from the word symbol, which is a sign. Now, what is symbolism? Symbolism basically is a literary device which is used by writers and poets to communicate a message to the readers through signs and symbols. Let me just exemplify the statement for you. Say, for example, I have a cage in my hand with a bird in it. I do not speak a word. I quietly open the door of the cage. What happens is very evident. The bird flies out. And the message that you receive, the message that you obtain is nothing but freedom. Similarly, Robert Frost took up the basic elements from nature. His famous poems, Dust and Snow, Fire and Ice, Mending Wall, After Apple Picking, and so on and so forth. There's a long list. But in these poems, you will find typical messages being given out to the readers through basic symbols like an apple, like a wall, like birches. Birches are trees. So through these objects of nature, Frost foregrounds a couple of messages to the readers. Now coming to the poem, The Road Not Taken. In this particular poem, the symbol that has been picked up by the master poet is a road. Now you may be wondering, why a road? What kind of a message can a road give to human beings? Well, before that, let me ask you a question. Do you even know what is that one thing we continuously keep doing? Decision making. what to wear, where to go, when to speak, what to read, when to write, what to write, how to watch, how to sit, how to stand, how to talk. Everything is a part of decision making. And that is the reason, my dear friends, this particular poem talks about the innate importance of decision making. Here, the speaker stands in front of diverged roads. Diverged. And let me clarify this for you, that every road, reaches its own destination. Similarly, every decision has its own consequences. When we are small, when we are children, whether we take up commerce, whether we take up science, whether we take up arts, that is also a decision. And how a unique decision changes everything, changes the entire, destination of life, is what the poet showcases through the poem. Therefore, in today's lecture, we'll be talking about the road not taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. Now the narrator stands in front of a forest. Rather, he reaches at a point in a particular forest and he found two roads that were diverged, they were bifurcated. And sorry, I could not travel both. Now, is it possible for us to travel on two roads at the same time? Practically, no. Similarly, in our lives, it's not possible for us to take more than one decision. Either we take a yes decision or a no decision. And be one traveler, long I stood and looked down as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Now, undergrowth is the area where you don't have much grasses growing. You have small bushes, shrubs growing. Now, when the narrator stands in front of the diverged road, he wants to see as far as he can. Similarly, in life, when we take decisions, we also require to use our, the faculties of observation, faculties of contemplation, everything, to ponder over the decision and figure out the consequences that will, come to us once we take a particular decision. My dear friends, all of you who are studying science, you had taken this decision keeping one consequence in mind. Similarly, my friends who are studying commerce have taken this decision keeping a consequence in mind. Similarly, just as, there is symbolism. Just as we take different roads to reach different destinations, our decision making is also related to the kind of consequences we are exposed to. Then took the other just as fair. And that is the human nature. Robert Frost was a nature poet, my dear friends. He was a nature poet and he understood the importance of nature. And that is the reason why he took inspiration from nature to give out his message to the clan of humanity. And having perhaps the better claim, we never want to drive on rough roads, do we? We don't. We always want to travel on smoother roads. Why do we do that? We always want to drive on a smoother road because that kind of a road adds to our convenience. adds to our riding comfort, driving comfort. Similarly, the decisions that we take in life are very much related to the consequences we have in our mind. Or vice versa, the consequences that we want to achieve or probably want to get exposed to make us take such decisions that are feasible for us, that are kind of comfortable for us. So what did he do? He took a road which had a better claim. And why did he do that? Because it was grassy and wanted wear. Now there is the lesson of life coming in again. Nothing in this life comes for free. There has to be elements of risk taking. There has to be an element of uniqueness. And there has to be a certain amount of courage that a person needs to have to take a unique decision. This particular poem is talking about that same uniqueness that a person needs to have to take a unique decision. So he took a road that was grassy and wanted wear. It needed people to walk on it. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. There were other ways also, there were other roads also, and by walking on that road particularly would wear it almost the same as the other roads. And both that morning equally lay in leaves. No step had trodden black. So the narrator could very well understand that the road which had a better claim was a new road. It needed people to walk on it. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way. Very important. Just as one road leads to another road, similarly, one decision leads to another decision. And there are cases where you even have chances of a roadblock. Why do you see a roadblock? Why do you encounter a roadblock? Or probably why do you encounter a situation from where you cannot come back? That is because you could not probably take the right decision. So the narrator knows that every way somehow is connected to another way. Every road is connected to another road. Let me give you an example, a very simple example. All my friends out there who want to, be bank managers, definitely have to do MBA probably after a point of time, have to study business administration probably, or probably BCom, or probably MCom. Or a person who has taken up commerce cannot be a dentist. So your road of becoming a doctor is connected with the road of taking up science and not commerce. Similarly, the decisions that you take in life, the ability to take risks in life is what matters the most. Let me tell you another thing here, my dear friends. In order to lead life in a very unique manner, one has to be foresighted. Now, the master poet, Robert Frost, has also revealed the importance of being foresighted. If you don't have a vision in life, if you do not have a mission in life, you don't have any purpose in life. So what did he do? He kept the first road for another day, and he knew that one road leads to another road, and he doubted as well if he should ever come back. I doubted if I should ever come back. So that glitch was also there in his mind. That doubt he was skeptical about his coming back, because that is required. If you take up a decision, obviously you would be wanting that decision to be fruitful. Nevertheless, in life, sometimes the decisions don't happen to be fruitful, and that is the beauty of life. And that is the importance of making decisions. So first of all, a man needs to have a proper vision in life. Without a proper vision, decision making is not possible, because decision making is that one act which we keep on doing 24/7. Starting from waking up to going to sleep, we keep on making decisions. Be it the kind of clothes we want to wear, the kind of demeanor we want to adopt, the gait, our mannerisms, our way of looking at people, our way of interacting, when to smile, when to frown, everything is a part of decision making. And of course, your academics, your profession definitely count to be a part of decision making. Now, the last stanza is very important in the poem. And the last stanza is the crux of the entire poem, because only at the end, at the destination, you come to know whether the road was correct or not correct. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Now, sigh is of two types here. This is very important. If you take a wrong decision, at the end, if you realize that you took the wrong decision, you took a wrong decision rather, you sigh. And somewhere ages and ages hence, you do it. You don't do it very recently. You don't do it in the very, couple of days to come. You do it after a long period of time. So you sigh. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Now, if you take a wrong decision, you sigh. Or if you take the right decision, you sigh. So sighing has got a very important implication here. Somewhere ages and ages hence. And then you reminiscence. You remember, you recollect. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Either you say it in a sad manner, by sighing in a sad way, or you sigh in a happy way rather. You sigh, you let out your emotions in a happy way, and you commend yourself for the risk that was worth taking, the uniqueness that was there in decision making at that point of time. It was worth taking. You have to understand one more thing. This poem is just not talking about the woods or the forest or the road. It is basically teaching us a technique of leading our lives as well. Now, for example, you want to be a successful musician, and your father tells you to be an engineer, for example. But you think, why should I become an engineer when everybody is becoming one? And you decide to take up music as your passion. You develop your forte in music. Ages and ages hence, two things may happen. Number one, if you sincerely persevere and pursue your career, pursue music as your career, you will be sighing in a very pleasant manner. Finally, I could become a musician. Finally, I have an international concert tomorrow. Woo! That is exactly what you do. And somehow, if you feel that there had been a problem, that there was a fault in your decision making, then you sigh. My father had told me to become an engineer. Somehow I should have become one. What am I doing in music? And that is where the difference lies. Therefore, Robert Frost completely leaves it to the readers to analyze and understand their way of functioning. Now, what kind of a functioning? Functioning of thoughts. Because if you are envisioned in a very, very appropriate manner, basically you don't blame anybody for whatever happened. The decision was completely your own decision. And whatever complications, whatever consequences, whatever issues you faced in life regarding your decision making, that solely falls on your shoulders and nobody else's shoulders. But in the entire process, what you emerge in learning is a great lesson in life. You become independent. You become a visionary, and finally you understand the importance of making a unique decision, or rather taking a unique decision. So with that, I will sum up today's lecture by covering a couple of points. Robert Frost has to be understood as a nature poet, definitely yes, who tried to establish a close communion between man and nature. Now, without this close communion, you cannot philosophize life. Now, by philosophizing, I mean, what is philosophy? Philosophy is the way in which you think or lead your life, or your actions are directed. Since every element in nature, according to Frost, teaches us something, the roads also teach us something, and that is taking a unique decision. And the forest, the woods that he talks about, probably is the hullabaloo, or rather the fiasco that generally gets created in our lives, where we are completely disillusioned, and at times we do not understand what to do, where to go. But at that point of time, it's very important for us not to lose our cool and not to lose our patience, and hold on to our perseverance. And that is where the difference is ultimately made. So I hope you understood this particular poem. If there is any doubt, definitely do come back with your doubts. Get back to me and I'll try my best to solve your doubts. With that, have a great day. Hari Om.